Hi, Kurt Andrews with Treetop Explorer. I am looking at the West Coast Climber Sparks Kids tree climbing saddle. This saddle is from New Green out of Canada. All right. If you are familiar with, if you are using the New Tribe Basic Kids harness, the extra small basic saddle, this is quite comparable to that. Okay, so looking at it, you can see they're using a Delta Link as the suspension point for your climbing line and such. The legs are suspended from there. You can see that there are no adjustments on these leg loops. They're fixed loops, so your adjustments for the legs are on the back side with the two buckles and the webbing. One thing I've noticed with this as compared to the New Tribe Basic is that the webbing straps is a thicker webbing. It's a heavier gauge webbing, and the plastic buckles are just a bit thicker than what's on that New Tribe Basic. Anyhow, what I'm noticing is it's got pretty good grab, so I don't notice these straps slipping or creeping through the buckle like I do notice on the some of the other models. All right, we come around then to the front. Again, the webbing that's used for the waist belt, again, it's very similar to what you'd be familiar with that basic saddle, the New Tribe. A little thicker webbing and a little thicker buckle. Again, I'm not seeing as much creep on this belt as they're climbing. I'm still doubling it back. I'm still checking it as we put them back on rope to tighten if there was some creep, but it just does not seem to creep as much as that thinner webbing that I'm familiar with on the New Tribe Basic. When you look at the waist belt, the construction, the fabric itself that they're using and the padding, it's very comparable to the to what's in that New Tribe Basic saddle. So it's pretty pliable and such. You can see on the Sparks that they have a hard edge or a straight edge sewn on the edge of the waist padding. Whereas like the New Tribe Basic or the Fun Climb, they have rounded the end of the belt here. Okay, so I was concerned about that maybe being a poke or an irritation to a climber, but being so pliable, I have not noticed it to be a problem, nor has anybody complained about it. When I look at the outside of the belt, you can see there are no side Ds, no main accessory loops. They do have, like the New Tribe Basic, they do have this webbing loop here that we can utilize. Other than that, there's not really too much else. If you're utilizing New Tribe Basic, this is quite comparable to that from what I'm finding in my uses under my facilitated programs. The maybe one point to mention is the tightening of the waist belt. This is hitting the size range of 22 to 23 inch waist range up to the upper 20s, maybe 28, 29, very similar to that New Tribe Basic. This is cinching down to maybe 22.5 inches, so not quite as tight. I should say small waist size, but it's right in there. So it seems to be like it's going to be a great potential replacement when I start cycling out my New Tribe Basic extra small saddles for the kids in that 22 to 28, 29 inch range. It's working for me anyhow. So anyhow, that's the West Coast Climber Sparks Kids harness out of New Green. They're out of Canada. Speaking to the guys at New Green, sounds like they have other sizes in the pipeline, but at this time it's this one model that's available to us. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. Like I said, I've used it on a couple dozen climbers in my camp climbs, my Girl Scout climbs, my public climbs, all those climbs I run under facilitation. It's a very common saddle that I utilize, or I should say the Basic is, and so this is looking to be hold some promise as a replacement for that.